And then Tomac, doing Tomac, man. I don't know. I still feel, I stand by what I said at the beginning of the series. He's going to go when he feels like it. He's riding much better. We hear he's got his parts back. No, I'm just kidding.
Thanks, Johnny Hopper.
Yes, Johnny Hopper.
Got the inside scoop that they're back underneath the umbrella. Yes. Oh, the reason why they got him, by the way, is because AC's out. So they brought the parts back. So there you go. Johnny Hopper's conspiracy theory is true.
We won't know for a couple years and what really happened. Somebody's going to go out and go, well, yeah, there was this one little part. You know, they don't like they took his parts away, but we did have an ignition that we gave AC that we didn't give him. You never know, but that's why Johnny's argument was very, very legit. Like I said, I still don't agree with him. I don't think that they are doing anything. I just don't think they're putting in the extra effort because they're like, well, this guy's gone. Why are we going to go to Colorado and spend an extra test day with this guy to make him comfortable? He's out, so we'll see him on race day. And that's my opinion. And I feel like his effort on race day is the same as that. It's I'll go when I can go, and when I can't, I'm just going to settle.
Yeah. How do you say anything other than that when you look at, let's go back 4 rounds ago, the guys that were around him? I mean, come on. I mean, there's no reason for him to be sitting back there. It's not like he's on a privateer bike. It's not he's like on a semi-factory bike. I just think, like you said, headspace wise, he's just, yeah, I'll just race today. But these last couple of rounds, we've seen that Pitbull come back, and we all love it. Again, it's just poetry in motion. I know I say that. We get to Jeremy Martin, I'm going to say poetry in motion across that start-finish line. It was amazing to watch. And I don't know when you want to get into it, but one of the things
we're going right into 250s now.
Yeah, whenever I'm teaching a workshop in a camp, I'm surprised how many people. I'm not going to say pre-jump everything, but Millville, you saw it a lot. They wouldn't wait till they got off the face of the jump. You'd see them leaving almost halfway up the face of the jump. Ironically, even saw it in the 250 when they were jumping that Lucas Oil, that little jump. You know what I mean? And you saw it in the 250 class. Goes back again to Tomac. Tomac's done it now in the last couple of rounds. He's got a unique line. Kind of reminds me of James Stewart at Daytona when he was seat bouncing up and over that wall and kind of catching everybody off guard. But, you know, Tomac was doing it almost every single lap in places people wouldn't do it, making passes, as the old saying goes, where you're not supposed to be able to pass, which I love. But no, Tomac, love to see it. The one thing that I will give Tomac credit for is he didn't come up with excuses on the podium. He just flat out said, those guys are hauling the mail. I was fast as I could go today. They were just faster. And I really appreciated that comment. It wasn't like he was tapped. He didn't have that. Remember when he got into it with Barsha and he was kind of doing that fake laugh thing?
Hey, guess what? You still got something to lose too.
Oh, yeah. When they were yelling at each other?
Yeah, and Tomac was doing that fake laugh like.
Yeah. Ha, ha, ha.
Yeah, but that's what Tomac's looked like when he's been on the podium. This weekend, he seemed back to authentic Tomac. Like, dude, props to those guys. They were just going faster. I gave it my best. It wasn't like it was one of those first races in a while. I didn't feel like if he didn't win, we all would say he was just kind of out there. He was racing hard. He just simply got beat. And you got to give him credit. He called a spade a spade. He gave those guys credit. And it does go back to what we spoke about last week. I think it will change the dynamics of next year, because if you went back 2 years ago, let's face it, 9 out of 9 guys would say they're pretty much racing for second place. This will be the summer that people realize Tomac is beatable. That's what I said to you last week about I would pull Jeremy Martin out only because I don't want people to get confident thinking that they can hang with me. At 100%, nobody can hang with me.
And nobody can hang with my stuff. I'm just a big, hairy American winning machine.
You know what I mean? Like we were talking about, if you're playing the politics of game selection.
Well, last week you and I had the same discussion where I said I think I would sit down AC, but I don't have a problem keeping Jeremy out there. I hate to say it, Coach, but check those results right there. That looks pretty good. 1-1.
They look beautiful.
If a guy can go 1-1, he needs to be out there.
And not just 1-1, but to run down J-Coop, go around him. And again, I know it's his home track. He knows every literal square inch of that track. But to catch and run down J-Coop, and what was it, 5-second lead? And I know J-Coop had one bad lap. I think he was like 3 seconds slower. But I say this in my workshops all the time. That's why you've got to practice consistency, because you never know what the dude out front could have. A bad corner. He could come up short on a jump. He could miss a gear. 2 seconds are gone just like that. You've got to stay consistent. Yeah. And there,
Well, And with just or Jeremy Martin, it's the exact opposite of, you get a guy who's got momentum, right? And you don't want to put him out there and lose. Everyone makes him beatable. But then you also get a guy who is so believable in his own talent that he knows, I'm racing myself into shape. I'm fighting myself into a place where I can dominate these guys. And he knows it. And that's what he's doing. He's literally racing himself into shape, and it takes a extremely mentally strong person to be able to do that. Like you said, because most people can't handle it, and they fall into a groove and feel like they belong somewhere they don't. That just goes to show how strong Jeremy Martin is mentally. That's badass. I mean, that just stamped it.
No, well, we know the Martin brothers are total badasses. I mean, they're literally two pit bulls in a fight. I'll disagree with you politely. I don't think Jeremy's racing himself into shape. I think he's just racing through injuries.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. He's racing himself. He's racing himself healthy.
Yeah.
Yes, he's in shape, but he's the fingers are getting better each week, and he knows as the fingers get better, the speed will come up, and he's riding within himself to get there. And he's mature enough to do that, in my opinion.
Oh, he's definitely mature enough to do it, but he's also a grown man in a young man's class. So all it takes is somebody, kind of go to like the situation that Jalik and Jet had, go back to, Sexton and Cooper. If you had something like that and Jeremy hits the ground again and he's not 100%, as you and I say on the show all the time, that second injury is usually worse than the first because you didn't heal from the first. Now he's making me look like a jackass because he went out and went 1-1. But, if you really step back and look at any other sport, how many of them are going to go out and play at 40 or 50%? In a sport like ours that just it's not like we're talking he's got a bum elbow, right? We're talking the thing that holds onto the bars, fingers, scaphoid, shoulders, and again, we know it's a contract year. We know it's an out of sight, out of mind. We know that you're only as good as your last race. He certainly made a great statement for that this weekend, right? Going 1-1. Here's what breaks my heart. He won't even get as much credit as he deserves because it was his home track. He's got to go do that in the next couple rounds, run Jay Coop down and do that. Because unfortunately, this industry will say, oh, it's his home track. He should have been able to do that. I'm like, did you see? Like, I want to talk about that for a second. When they came across the start line and there was that roller?
Yeah.
Did you see him? And I know this is such an overused word. Did you see him send it into that? He has the bike at a 45-degree angle. I mean, I said to Mika, like, watch how far he jumps into that G out, because I think it was when he had just gotten past Coop. Don't hold me to it. He freaking just sent it over that roller. And again, people that have never.
You're talking about after the sand rollers, you hung the left.
Nope. Come out of the start, and you know how that right hand turn on the start.
Yeah.
He just freaking sent it like Ferrandis in the 450. Even Tomac, he was sending it like he was on a 450. Bike's leaned over, just beautifully sends it. And he makes it look easy. If you screw that up, it's absolute carnage. Again, the television doesn't do coverage or justice to the side. I mean, I'm not saying that, it's not peaky.
Well, and then even that one after the rollers where everybody was hopping it, he realized you couldn't hop it. So he hit it and jumped all the way out to a new one. He created his own line that nobody else had. That second moto, I was like, ooh, that's clever.
Absolutely. And when we get deeper into the 250s, we'll talk about that right-hander before the catapult. It was supposedly not a good line, and those guys made it work. Jet made it work. Hunter made it work. I liked seeing how the track changed, and, the guys did a great job of changing on the fly, using a lap and going, oh, shoot, that wasn't the fastest line. And, again, I'm going to go back to the Hunter and the Jet side of things here in a minute when we get to them. But you could see the European side once again coming out. They were doing things that nobody else was doing. Even if it was just little bunny hop and missing little clips to get over the top of the jump into those little tight left-handers, they did it every lap.
Well, we'll go right into the Hunter brothers, as some people call them.
Yep.
The Lawrence brothers. But what they were doing, they would go on a line, like you said, that inside before the catapult. I saw one of them hit it and they went slow, but they looked at it, felt it, and realized what they needed to do to make that correction. And it just came to them as the outside got chopped up. It came to them as the race went along. They're the only guys out there searching. A lot of these other guys, and I'm sorry, RJ Hampshire, just whatever he finds his fast line, I don't think he detours off it too much. Like he's
No.
just on it. He could get savage, bumpy, and he doesn't seem to move. Where these guys constantly, lap to lap, they're searching for the best line out there.
Well, and take your point just a little bit further. If you watch Jet sit behind him, sit behind his brother and sit behind Mosabin, and then Jet's like, all right, he's going to go here. He's going here. 2 laps later, he knew where he's going to go. Just that slight little pause, and Jet pounced. And it was just interesting to watch, the way that materialized. But yeah, I love, and again, I teach this in my workshops all the time, is don't just be along for the ride. You know what I mean? You hit the jump and you see guys just go. Those guys were like preloading halfway up the face of the jump. They're literally bunny hopping over the lip of that jump, flat landing and dropping into that inside just super, super fast.